Hello students, I am Srishti Tiwari here. Today we are going to continue the first chapter, that is the review of communication process. Into that today we will discuss about the types of communication. So yesterday we have seen the what are the mainly four types of communication were the based on the means of delivering the message. Based on the means of delivering the message means how the message is being delivered, and the based on the purpose of communication and what is the purpose of communication, and third one is the level of communication, and fourth one is the pattern of communication. So this is the mainly four types of communication, that this delivering the message, purpose of communication, levels of communication, and the pattern of communication. The communication is being divided or classified. So first one we will see, that is the based on the means of delivering the message. So this first classification of communication is being divided into mainly two. First one is a verbal communication, and second one is the non-verbal communication. So we will see now the verbal communication. By the name itself you can know about it. What is verbal communication? Verbal communication occurs through the medium of spoken or written words. Means by the name verbal means speaking word or spoken words or written words will be there, and there are some elements that can be used in the verbal communication, that are language, vocabulary, denotative and the connotative, meaning, pacing, innotative, clarity, conciseness, preciseness, comprehension, brevity, and the timing and relevance. So these all are elements of verbal communication that can be used while communicating. If the category or the classification of the communication is the verbal, so these all are elements. So there are some sub classification of the verbal communication, that are: first one is the spoken communication, written communication, telecommunication, electronic communication. We will see one by one what is spoken communication, written, telecommunication, and electronic communication. We will see one by one. By the name itself you can know about it. First one is the spoken communication. In the verbal, it is a sub classification of the verbal communication, that is the spoken communication. This is the most primitive method of verbal communication. This is the most primitive type of verbal communication. In the spoken communication, the message is exchanged through the spoken words, and the face to face communication will be there. That's why it is known as the spoken communication. Next we will see, that is the written communication. This form of communication ensures the exchange of ideas or facts. Communication is the mainly exchange of ideas or facts or opinion, but here the communication will takes place through the written means. Okay, here the recipient and the sender comes in the contact with each other through the written means, and they are sharing their meanings and their understanding and their thoughts and ideas, that then it is known as the written communication. If a written communication is taking place mainly when the distance is taking place between the sender and receiver, then only the written communication is taking place. Next next we will see the telecommunication. What is telecommunication? By the name itself you can have an idea about the telecommunication. Is the carried out use of specific electronic devices such as telephone, mobile phones, televisions, video conferencing, and facilities, when the communication is taking place with the some electronic devices. Okay, this is taking place when the urgent or the immediate communication is needed, then the telecommunication is taking place. And fourth classification, that is the electronic communication. Electronic communication has become more popular recently because it is speedy and accurate and confidential, like through the Gmail and all, the communication is taking place. So that is the, there is a password the person can have, so that will be the confidential, and that the conversation between the sender and receiver only. So this is the electronic communication, we can say. Next we will see the non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication takes place without spoken or written words. This is by the name, this is non-verbal communication. This takes place without spoken or written words. It includes all five senses, that body movements, posture, gestures, facial expressions, include silence also. So this is the non-verbal communication. So this is also has been sub classification of non-verbal communication. We will discuss one by one. These all are sub classifications of nonverbal communication: eye contact, touch, sound, silence, gestures, gait, posture, facial expression, and physical appearance. So we will see one by one how the through all these things the nonverbal communication is taking place. First one is touch. Touch, yesterday we have seen in the tactile channel, like the by the touch the we are sharing our feeling to the next person. That is the touch. Means touch is a personal behavior in the mean different things to the different people. So this is the touch. Next we will see the eye contact. Through the eye contact means if we are we are doing the communication with any person, that time we should have the eye contact with the person. If the person is not maintaining the eye contact with the next person, that indicates a sign of anxiety or avoidance of communication. And so in some cultures, like in Indian cultures, we can say, if the younger brother is maintaining eye contact with the elder brother, so that will be uh, in the Indian culture, they are thinking that it is maintaining eye contact while communication is a disrespectful. So it is a, that means it is here the eye contact is taking place. So next we will see the facial expression. Through the facial expression, how the communication is taking place. So our face is the most expressive part of the body. Facial expression convey the feelings such as anger, joy, suspicion, and sadness and fear. Sometimes the if the person is sad, but he or she may be saying that yes, I am happy, and he is making a smile face. So that time uh, we can't know about what the person is actually feeling. Next we will see the posture. Posture means position. The way person holds his or her body carries a non-verbal message. By the seeing the posture or the position of the person, we can know the what the person is facing, or the what the person is having. For example, if we see the if we are seeing the rigid and stiff appearance, may be a good indicator of the tension and pain. If we are seeing a patient who is having the rigid and stiff appearance, so that will be the sign of pain or tension. Next we will see the gait. Gait means movement. If the person is very happy, so the person will have the bouncy purposeful walk, like it carries the message of well-being, like person is well. And if the person is less purposeful, or he is shuffling his or her gait continuously, or it so it will indicate that the person is ill. Next one we will see the gesture. Gesture using various parts of the body can carry numerous message. Next, classification, that we will see the sound. By the sound itself, if the person is crying or if the person is laughing, that through that also we will know that person is happy or person is sad. Next, next classification, that is the silence. A period of silence during a conversation often carries an important non-verbal message. Like if any conference is going on or any communication is going on, if the person is next one person is speaking and next person is silence, and that indicates that the person is not at all interesting, or he or she is not she don't want to have a conversation with that person. So it that may indicate that silence may indicate that. Through that also we can know about the others feelings and the opinions about what the next person want to say and not. Next classification, we will see the based on the purpose of communication. So it also has been a sub classification, that is in the three, that is the formal communication, informal communication, and therapeutic communication. We will discuss one by one what is formal communication, informal communication, therapeutic communication. First one, formal communication. Formal communication follows a line of authority and generally used in the organization to achieve organizational objective. It means like in any institution or any organization, if one person wants to talk to the higher authority, so that person has to follow a channel. Means that person can't talk directly the person who is on the higher authority. Like an example, in the college only, if the students wants to talk to the principal, so students can't talk directly to the principal. So she or the student has to talk with first with her his or her class coordinator, then the class coordinator will communicate the message to the vice principal, then it will be transferred to the principal. So this is the formal communication, or it will go through the proper lines of authority or proper channel it will used. So this is known as formal communication. Next one is the informal communication. By the name itself, here the any it does not follow the line of authority. As in the formal communication that we have seen, it follows the line of authority, but here it is not following any line of authority. Here the patient or here the person is sharing his or her idea or feeling to the next person freely in the social group, like in the kitty parties or chit chatting or gossiping, like in the friend circle or peer group, they are sharing their ideas and thoughts. So that is the example of informal communication. Third one, we will see the therapeutic communication. Therapeutic communication takes place between a healthcare personnel and the patient, mainly to with the purpose that is modifying the patient's behavior and to know about the patient's behavior. So this is the in the that mainly this communication is taking place only the healthcare, between the healthcare personnel. Next classification, third one, is that we will see, that is the based on the levels of communication. So it also has classified intrapersonal communication, interpersonal communication, transpersonal communication, small group communication, public communication, and organizational communication. We will discuss one by one what is intrapersonal communication. First one is intrapersonal communication. By the name itself, intra means within the person, means intrapersonal communication takes place within an individual. It may also say it is a self talk, means it also helps in the means if the person is going to do anything, so person used to talk within, say, should I do this, should I do this, should I won't do this. So it is giving a sense of we can say if a person is going to do wrong, so it may help to be, means person will be negative, or patient will avoid to do the negative things if the person is having the intrapersonal communication. Next one is interpersonal communication. Interpersonal means between the two or more people. If the person is communicating between two or more people, that means it is known as interpersonal communication. Next one is the transpersonal communication. Transpersonal communication means it takes place within a person spiritual domain. The purpose of transpersonal communication is to realize the selfhood and enhance the spirituality, and the person will give the answer which is related to the spiritual in nature. And next classification, that is the small group communication. Small group communication, here is we will see the examples. An example of small group communication is when nurses interact with two or more individual face to face or use a media like a conference call. So this we can say it is a small group communication. Next, we will see the public communication. What is public communication? Public is generally defined as a large group of people communication with such a Large group of people is known as public communication. Means, like an example, if any healthcare public communication becomes essential when a message needs to be disseminated to the large group at once, so there will be the public communication. Next, we will see that is the organizational communication. Like we have seen the formal communication, like that only, it is also uh, organizational communication. Organizational communication takes place when the individual and the groups within organization communicate with each other to achieve established organizational goals. Next, fourth classification of communication that we will see, the based on the pattern of communication. It also has been divided into five. First one is one way communication, two-way communication, one-to-one communication, one-to-many communication, many-to-one communication. We will see one by one. One way communication, by the name itself you can know, that is, one way communication takes place when the messages are delivered to the audience from the communicator only, without constant feedback. Means only the sender is sending the message and the receiver is not giving the constant feedback. Means only, we can say it is a passive also. So this is a one way communication, only sender, only one person is speaking and other person is listening only. So example, we can say, if only lecture is going on in the classroom, so it is an example of one way communication. B, we will see that is the two-way communication. Two-way communication takes place when the both communicator and the audience take part in the process. Like in the classroom only lecture is going on, and but the proper discussion is going on. Means students also is responding what the teacher is asking, and the what teacher is saying, students are listening it properly and they are asking their doubts. So we can say it is a two-way communication, and the students, they are also giving their thoughts and ideas regarding the class. Next, we will see that is the one-to-one communication. Communication between one sender and one recipient at one uh, time is termed as the one-to-one communication. A nurse providing a health education, a nurse providing a discharge information to the patient is an example of one-to-one communication. Okay, if one to many communication, there by the name itself, one to many, one person is communicating in the group, we can say. If the one nurse is giving a health education to many people in the village or in the ward only, so this will be the example of one to many communication. Fifth one, we will see that is the many to one communication. Like when the many people are discuss is having the communication with one person, that is known as many to one communication. Like in the panel discussion or in the panel interview of panel experts, they are taking an interview of one person at a one time. So this is an example of many to one communication. So these all were the types of communication that we have discussed till now, and today we are going to discuss next uh, topic, that is the facilitators of communication. Facilitators, we can say, that things they are making easy communication, they are making the communication process easy. So there are seven C's of communication, they are making the communication effective, easy, and uh, so what are these seven C's? We will see that is the completeness, clarity, courtesy, consideration, conciseness, concreteness, correctness. So these all are seven C's that they are making the communication effective. We will see one by one what it should be and what it is. First one is completeness. Completeness communication has incomplete communication has no use. Like if one person is saying I'll go there and I'll do this means next person is not knowing where you will go and what you will do. So that means the complete sentence and the complete communication should be there. So incomplete communication should be avoided to make communication effective. Second one is clarity. Clarity, a clear message helps a receiver to understand message easily and appropriately, and avoiding any possible misunderstanding. Means the whatever the message should be communicated to the next person, that should be clear. Next one is Conciseness means we can say it should be in brief, means large amount of messages or many things should not be there. What is accurate and concise, that has to be delivered to the receiver. The message should be concise. So that will be the, if the message is in the large amount, so that cannot be easily understood by the receiver. If the message is in the concise way, so receiver can understand it is easy and uh, speedy. Third one is the concreteness. Concreteness means the specific things should be there. Concrete communicates is specific, clear and free from fusiness. It is fusiness means unclear. Concrete makes communication more specific and meaningful. Whatever the person wants to communicate with other person, that has to be specific. Next one is the correctness. Whatever the matter is there that are being used in the communication, that has to be correct. Correct communication helps having an error free message or contact in the communication. Sixth one, that is the courtesy. Courtesy helps the sender receiver express their politeness, empathy, enthusiasm, sincerity, etc. in the communication. Courtesy means the patience, humility, or goodness. When you will use the courtesy, so it will show your sincerity, how the sincere you are, and how you are using your politeness or not. So that will help the communication to be effective. Next one is consideration. Consideration means we can say, means you have to consider yourself to the on the other person's place. Like empathy, we can say it helps in the understanding of others problem by stepping into others shoes. Means you have to understand others problem, then only you will be able to share your feeling about others, what other person is thinking or feeling. So these all were the seven C's. So there are some additional additional elements. They are facilitating the communication, that helping it to be effective. There are some headings. This is first one is positive attitude. Positive attitude facilitates communication. Means if the with the positive attitude the person is talking, that will help the communication to be effective. Second one is improving communication skills. improving communication skills Improving communication skills takes knowledge and work. Means the person's communication skills has to be improved. Then the getting feedback of communication skills, means if person one has communicated, means the if one person is communicating with the other person, so the next person who is listening that person has to give the feedback to the sender, what the person has said. Then the goal oriented communication. Whatever communication is going on, that has to be some goal or some purpose. According to that only, according to that criteria only, the communication has to be go on. Then the using creative alternative approaches, means the communication process has to be should be used some creative way of communication, like using some demonstration and some videos and audios also. So that will make the communication effective and uh, uh, if that will make the communication effective and easy to understand. Then minimizing negative impact, means that if person, once the person has got the feedback from the receiver, so that person has to minimize their negative things. If there is any negative feedback has got from the receiver, so the sender uh, has to neglect, or the sender has to minimize their negative things for the next time. Means if once he got any negative impact, so next time it should not be there. Means the negative thoughts or negative things has to be minimized. Warmth and friendliness communication good communication maintains qualities of warmth and friendliness throughout the communication process. If you are doing the communication friendly, so this will give you the form of good communication. Openness and respect and an attitude of acceptance and frankness also should be there, that will avoid the partiality into the group or to the any individual. So empathy, previous slide we have seen, the like the consideration, empathy should be there before doing the communication. Then the comfortable environment is very important for effective and to achieve the goal of the communication. So these all are about the how the communication has to be effective. So these all are points has to be remember while doing communication. So next topic is the barriers of communication. What are the barriers of communication? So these all are several types, that is physiological barriers, environmental barriers, psychological barriers, social barriers, cultural barriers, semantic barriers, organizational barriers, communication process related barriers. So these all are barriers of communication that we will discuss in the next class. So for today's it is okay. So if you people are having any doubts and any confusion, you should ask, and you have to ask. I'll clear your doubts. Thank you all.